Yeah, Pickle, you're right. So the scary thing right now is looking in California and I think Texas is seeing who can get over 15%. Because
Leftists.
crossing that 15% threshold means that you get candidates. And I know especially in California, I think Bloomberg and Warren are hovering at around 15% in a ton of fucking districts. Meaning that they're like very close to either getting a lot of delegates, which would hurt Bernie or Biden theoretically, I guess, or
Steven.
or not getting any delegates, which would fuck them completely, and then obviously help it whoever the front runner is going to be. Isn't Biden almost guaranteed viable now that Pete and Amy dropped? Possibly. A lot of Bernie bros are saying that you can't put all the moderates together, and that Pete and Amy's coalitions will spread evenly to Biden and Sanders. I don't know if that's how that's actually going to play out. It doesn't seem to be what the polling shows so far, but it's possible. We just have to see how we have to see how some of the results come in tonight, I think. Texas was another scary state where I think Bernie had a really big lead. I don't know if it's still like that or not. Texas Democratic primary. Ooh. So Bernie had almost like a 10-point lead like a week ago. And that lead on the RCP average has shrunk to less than 2 points. Holy shit. Is that the Beto endorsement kicking in? Oh my god. If Bernie loses Texas and Biden has a strong showing in California, that's going to be an omega yikes for the Bernie camp. That's going to be really, really, really bad. How do endorsements matter that much? I don't know. I imagine it probably signals to the people that were supporting the other candidates that they probably are more likely to move over to whoever the endorsement goes to. Oh, the Beto endorsement was only last night, so it can't even be factored into the polls. Maybe. If Bernie loses Texas, that would be really bad, I think. There's no way that Biden wins California. So Biden's goal isn't to win California. Biden's goal is to do well. He just wants to get delegates, right? Yeah, we've got some needles. We got some needles, boys, okay? It's basically 15% of the vote to get the delegates. No. I'm pretty sure Biden is looking to get way more than 15% in California. I'm pretty sure, right? That what we're looking at for the 15% threshold is Warren or Bloomberg. That's the scary... I think that's the scary thing, because the needle gives Biden 37% chance to win California. If Biden has like a strong showing in California, that's super, super, super scary. Who do I support between Biden and Bernie? I don't really have a strong preference for either one. Policy-wise, I probably would line up a little bit more with Biden, but like, I don't know. He doesn't excite me very much. I feel like Biden is maybe it'll come down to like, since you're saying scary, are you admitting to being for Sanders? I'm just covering what's going on. I'm not my coverage of this has no bias over like who I'm in favor of. Unless you're a Bernie bro, then you feel like I'm adamantly anti-Bernie no matter what I say. I feel like California and Texas are going to be the big stories tonight. Biden has very high chances to win in a couple of really big delegate states. Although I guess this isn't telling us how many delegates each people are getting, right? These are just who's forecasting who the winner is going to be. So I probably should be looking at that more. Fuck. Is there an easy way to look at like all of this data? Who has the most delegates right now after South Carolina? Delegate tool. Yeah, I'm sure there's multiple reasons why Hillary didn't win. Her being a woman probably had some of it. The whole email and Benghazi shit. Is it Bernie by 4? Oh, the Comey letter. Holy shit. That was a huge one. Biden leads in popular vote. Bernie bros won't care about the popular vote if Biden is leading. Bernie bros only care about the popular vote when Bernie is winning, and the popular vote and losing the delegates. Sanders 60, Biden 53, Buttigieg 26, Warren 8, Klob 7. We can assume that Pete will probably assign his delegates to Biden at the convention, right? Same thing with Klobuchar. Don't you think the Biden son thing, his mistakes in his congressional past, including the whole busing thing, and his tendency to stumble on his words would make him seem less charismatic? Yeah, but like, the thing is, I don't know how Bernie's socialist bullshit plays in the general. Like, that in and of itself, that might just be a killer right there. Like, for whatever reason, which is weird because Bernie's not even close to being a socialist. Bernie's obsession with labeling himself a socialist might fuck him in the general. That actually might be the only thing that's needed to like destroy his general election, or maybe not. It's also possible that Americans don't give a fuck. Americans don't give a fuck about the socialist thing, and Trump attacks it the whole time. Nobody really cares, and Bernie comes out looking better. I don't know. It's also possible that the economy is doing so well that this coronavirus stuff, fucks off in a month or two, and like neither Biden nor Bernie have a chance against Trump. Trump is an incumbent sitting president. The economy is going okay. Most Americans have optimistic outlooks on financial everything, and then just the Democrats never taking it. I think it's 50-50 for either candidate. I think if the economy keeps up in the direction it's been going since this corona stuff, I think that Trump is going to be very, 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 very hard to beat. I'm sorry. So coronavirus is not going to fuck off. Expert predictions put it at 40 to 70% of all the adults in the world. So I might sound like a climate change denial person or like an anti-vaxxer here. And if that's the case, I'm sorry. I'm just susceptible to this because I haven't done maybe as much research. But after the H1N1, the swine flu, the SARS, like all of these apocalyptic infections that were supposed to wipe out mankind, like came and went in like fucking 3 days. I have a really hard time listening to any alarmist stuff relating to that. Like the Ebola stuff. Like, I don't know. Maybe I need to do more reading to figure out why this is different than all of those. But man, dude, I got hardcore turned off from every medical scare because of how much those things were so fucking hyped. And then it was like, okay. But maybe it's different. I don't know. I have been hearing a lot of people saying that like H1N1 infected tens of millions. Yeah, but wasn't it just like slightly more fatal than the flu? It didn't like I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I maybe I should look into it more. But yeah. Can you imagine if the internet was this big and 24-hour news was around for SARS and swine flu and shit? When was like H1Z1? Was I a carpet cleaner back then? Why do I feel like I remember driving around in my little carpet cleaning van? I feel like I remember being in Omaha listening to, not H1Z1, sorry, H1N1. What was the time period for that? I feel like I remember driving around in Omaha listening to that on the radio. 2009. Oh yeah, so I would have been like a carpet cleaner dude, yeah. I don't know, I remember hearing, because I listen to talk radio all the time, and conservative talk radio is always fear-mongering. Buy a bunker, make sure you got your food stash, make sure all of your money is in gold, etc., etc. Yeah, I don't know. H1N1 killed 14,000 people during the pandemic in 2009. It still comes around in summers every year. Yeah, but doesn't the normal flu kill like 70,000 people or whatever? The coronavirus has a fatality that is 34 times more deadly. It's 3.4%. Yeah, but that
COVID-19 in 2020 LULW.
I don't really like talking about this because I just don't know. So it could be really irresponsible. But like I've heard people say that like the mortality on the Covina thing looks, or the Corona thing, not Covina, fuck, that's a city in Florida or in California. The reason why the mortality looks so bad on the coronavirus is because there's a lot of people that have it that just don't report it. Because they get like a cold, or it looks like a cold, and they don't actually know that they have it. So they never actually go in and get tested. So they don't actually know. So like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. It's not something that I'm like majorly worried about. But wrong with COVID-19 is that nobody's immune, so there's a risk that a lot of people get it. But nobody's immune to the flu either, right? Like, or do the same flu strands go around every single year? I was under the impression that like for the strands of flu. Yeah, I guess we do vaccinate against some of the more common ones, but like I thought that the flu mutates and there's like a different one that goes around every year as well, no? Final predictions for the first big reports on Super Tuesday. Well, right now, Sanders is estimated, according to the New York Times, to take home 576 delegates, with Biden right behind him at 548. Bloomberg is estimated to take home 201, and Warren is estimated to take home 133. Wait, is this the estimated take-homes, or is this the estimated cumulative... Wait, this might be the amount of delegates we'll have after Super Tuesday, I think. Because it shows Klobuchar is having 8, and Buttigieg is having 27, unless Buttigieg can still get some, because people have written him in or whatever, I don't know. Is 200 enough for Bloomberg to call it a success? It seems like he needed more, considering all the money he spent. I'm not sure. Well, if we think about how the delegates are given out, I can't imagine that Bloomberg is going to give his delegates to Bernie, right? So if Bloomberg is giving his delegates to Biden in the event of a broker convention, that would put Biden... Well, Warren would probably give hers to Sanders, right? but that would still give Biden a solid like 50 delegate lead. Aren't there like a lot of southern states after? Aren't there a lot of southern states after Super Tuesday? What is? I'm not on my home computer, so I don't have all my shit bookmarked
Hi.
like that. When Bernie had to go through the southern states against Hillary, that was one of the places where Bernie got absolutely fucking demolished. And based on what happened on South Carolina, I wonder if that could happen again. Although I think Bernie's done better with the black vote this time around than before. Do candidates have to give away their delegates? Can they just say fuck you to nobody? My understanding is that the first round of voting happens if nobody has a majority. Then a second round of voting is when the delegates are pledged to each other, and then in the third round they can vote for anybody. Or is the second round super delegates? I don't remember. The Needle says that Biden already won Virginia. So remember, it's important in these states. I don't think we're not just looking for winners or losers. We're looking for how many delegates everybody's going to take away. That's like the big thing that we're looking for today. Trump could win against Sanders or Biden, but I feel like Biden could fuck himself because his brain stops working sometimes. The thing is that like, this is going to sound really mean, but if I was Trump and I had to do debate prep against Bernie Sanders, I'd probably call him Phelan Hart Bernie, the socialist. And I would just rail on that for like every fucking debate. That's what I would just do. Like, damn man, that heart attack. Oof, that's definitely gonna be brought up in the general. Holy shit. That's gonna be brought up so much, dude. I know the heart condition looks to be bad to the public, but do you actually think it matters? I'm of the opinion that medical problems are actually not an issue.
Destiny, the 538 breakdown of delegates is decent for tracking.
Can you link that? I mean, I'm of the personal opinion that if you're over 70, why the fuck are you president?
Steven.
I don't know. Exit poll youth vote, 13% turnout. That's going to be another thing to keep an eye on for this election. If Bernie can't bring young people out to vote, Bernie's campaign is sunk. That's really scary. Part of what Bernie is trying to do with his campaign is, and Bernie's even said this himself, part of what Bernie's tried to do with his campaign is mobilize voters that won't traditionally vote. And part of that is mobilizing youth voter bases. And there was a Vox article recently. I only read the headline, I didn't read the actual article. But the article had to talk about how a lot of Bernie's like performance, I think, with Hispanics or minorities, or was it in general, might be dramatically overstated because of how unlikely it is that many young people will show up to vote. Breaking news, young people still don't vote. In an NBC News exit poll, 13% of voters were between 18 to 29. Is that across every Super Tuesday state? Because like if that's true, then like that's really, really, really bad for Bernie's camp. What policies of Bernie do you specifically disagree with? I think that the Medicare for All plan that he has is way too extreme. I don't even know if I could get it in a perfect world. I'm not even sure if I would go for it. Just like having going from having one of the worst healthcare systems in the world to having the most left healthcare system in the entire world, that's a pretty big gap to cross. Also, I do think there's a lot of moral hazard problem. I don't think Bernie's Medicare for All plan is good. And also, I don't think he can get the funding for it. He's not going to get the appropriations in Congress for it. That's just way too much. Maybe there's a compromise there that I'd be okay with, I guess.
Biden or Bernie, gun to your head.
Maybe, yeah. But I think I'm more a fan of building on the ACA because the infrastructure is already there to move that out. So I think that would be good. To build on the ACI. I'm a big fan of that rather than dismantling that and then getting rid of private insurance. It's really, really, really extreme. Bernie's never getting the votes for anything like that.
Good one, Dono Pepamods.
Yeah, not to mention, no healthcare reform might get through the Senate, period. That's true. I don't like Bernie's, like, the Bernie not worldwide, the national rent control shit is just stupid. Rent control is just dumb policy. We've been over this a million fucking times. We're not gonna go over that again. The 20, I don't know, wait, that 20% of workers owning, like, firms, I don't even know how that would begin to even materialize. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I don't know. And then the free college for everybody. Man, I've backed more and more. The more that I've looked into stuff related to college, the more I've backed off for having this huge hard-on for student loan forgiveness and everything. Like, if you got a degree and you're earning a lot, pay your fucking degree back. Like, you made an investment, you paid off.
Anyone for a wowie.
Yeah. What about people who fail out of college? That's a totally different. That's a much smaller subset of people than giving free college. Would you be in favor of Pete's plan for college? I think I like Pete's plan for college. Basically, if you have the money to pay for it, and then if money is a boundary, then or barrier, then we fix that with the government. Yeah. Wouldn't you want as few barriers to education as possible? Well, it depends. If you can easily get rid of the barriers, then no, you want some barriers up. The thing is that, like, people don't understand. You're talking about an order of magnitude more cost if you're saying everybody gets education for free, rather than if you're middle class or wealthy, you can probably pay for it, or at least pay a percentage of it, and then poor people get it. Like, you need way less funding, and the quality of the chances of the quality falling are going to be much lesser as long as you've got tons of people that are still paying into the system. Like, if you're wealthy or like middle class decent, like, you don't need the government paying for your education. Right? You got the money for it, throw it in. Like, make the schools better. Like, there's just no reason for that. Money is not keeping like upper middle class citizens from going to school or whatever. And also, free college isn't even going to allow working class people to go to is it even going to allow working class people to go to school? Because there's tons of other costs that working class people have to take into account that are beyond just the cost of education. Yeah. I don't understand why the people who want free college thinks it's nearly impossible for college graduates to pay off student loans. In your convo with the Progressive Voice, he said a two-income class household wouldn't be able to afford their kids' Yeah, I don't know. It's all of this is based on like Reddit anecdote that just isn't true, actually, when you look at the data. So, like what Razor Lord in Chapter said, college doesn't 100% guarantee a good job, though, right? Like, this idea that there are all these people getting college degrees and then they're not making any money off of them, that's just a fabrication. That's just a Reddit myth. It's actually not true at all. Like, 4-year degree confers a massive median wage advantage onto you. It's insane. It's like $20,000 a year. It's crazy. Like, the premium that's conferred on you if you get a 4-year degree is huge. And this idea that, like, degrees are so expensive, yeah, they are, but, like, holy shit, like, yeah, I don't know. Those stats seem to be extremely weighted by business/STEM degrees. Yeah, sure. We can talk about like funding specifically for arts and whatnot. Like, there are different programs. I think arts have a lot of value to society, arts and humanities and stuff. But that's a far cry from free college for all. The point of free college isn't to give whoever random people degrees. The idea is that if you have, okay, so the self-interested way to look at it is like, we want the best people working the best positions that they can be in the United States. If there is an incredibly talented or intelligent individual that just happens to not have access to the capital to make the investment in his education, we don't ever want that to be a barrier for him to go to school. Like, the goal isn't to make school free or whatever. The goal is to make it so that if you have the ability to go and do well or whatever, that money is never a barrier. That shouldn't be the thing that keeps you from going to school. Like, that's the idea, right? Do you think we actually need to move leftward in this country, and if so, in what ways? The current discourse around here is so anti-progressive, I'm not really sure what your take is anymore. I think that there is a huge... I really want to read... I think the next book I might read is going to be Capital in the 21st Century, I think. I've had it recommended by so many people. I don't know if I'd agree with anything in the book, but I think it'd be a good read. It seems to me that the power that capital confers on you in society is so great these days, and that the gap is growing so much between like the have and the have-nots or whatever, that we need to shore up that difference. That seems to be okay. So like the number one problem, so in my opinion, this is the worst problem that exists in America. That the worst problem that exists right now in the United States is homelessness. There's no reason. There's no reason. There's no excuse. It can't be. Like, that just can't be a thing. It's fucking embarrassing to bring people from other countries into my country and to walk around any major city and there are mentally retarded homeless people that are screaming walking down the street. That's just not... That shouldn't happen. Like... I would be more okay with the dumbass lefty just give them houses meme than having actual homeless people. That's insane in this country. It just shouldn't happen. I don't know. That's crazy to me. So there are a couple things like that should probably be looked at. Things like access to birth control, things like the war on drugs. I think these are like decent, like progressive left-leaning positions that we could like push more for. That are just no-brainers. You're economically right-wing in most of Europe. I don't think that's true at all. But how do you propose we fix that, and what candidates share your view? I don't know if anybody even cares about homelessness that much. I don't think we talk about that much in terms of like the problem is that like every problem that we need. The The problem is that like every problem that we have is like the intersection of 4 or 5 different systems. Like, how do you fix homelessness? Well, like the first question is why are people homeless? You know, there's different reasons for that. You know, some people miss some rent payments, end up homeless, blah blah blah. Some people are mentally ill. You know, they're fucked. Some people are in and out of prison. Like, so why are people homeless? So you have to address all of those issues. We have no healthcare system in the United States. Okay, it's not good. We have a lot of problems with that. Maybe greater access to mental health professionals can help some of those people. Prescription drugs are very expensive in the United States. You know, maybe that can help some of these people. Access to affordable housing in some areas is very fucking hard. You know, expanding zoning.
Thanks for educating me, BB less than 3.
Maybe expanding Section 8, making those types of houses more affordable could probably help. Like, the prison system is super ultra fucked. You know, we have no, like, good, like, worker job training in this country. Like, there's a lot of different problems. That, like, homelessness is probably the intersection of multiple systemic problems that require, where every single one of these problems require complicated solutions. I doubt there's like, oh, if we just do this, we can fix all the homeless problems, you know? Yeah. Why can't we just buy them houses? Because just putting them in houses probably doesn't fix their problems. Like, anybody that's... Where are my landlords in chat? You know? Throwing a homeless person into a house, 1, they're probably not going to be able to afford it. 2, even if you give it to them for free, they're probably just going to fucking trash the fuck out of it. 3, they're not going to be able to deal with any of the external upkeep. You have to mow the yard, you've got to, like, shovel the fucking... You've got to shovel the sidewalks, like you have to do some minimum upkeep on the property. 4, they're not going to be able to handle like major not administrative costs, major like home repairs, although maybe if you give all of that for free and continue to fund it, like just giving somebody a house in and of itself, you need more on top of that. You need some form of job training, you need some sort of mental health upkeep, you need some form of like reintegration in society if they've been living in prisons, or like there's a lot of other it's not just like a give them houses. It's like you have to like work on all of the systems that are intersecting in a homeless person's life that makes them homeless, you know? These problems do seem literally insurmountable at times. Yeah, well, it's because all of them are so complicated. Like, all of these problems require so many different types of things to fix them, which is really... yeah, it sucks. It's just really complicated. I wish there was, like, a better answer than that. Destiny, you say you don't care, but please tell me you'll get some satisfaction of being right about Bernie being unelectable. So, it would be easy to, like, it's tempting to kind of, like, have fun with, like, Hassan Malding or, you know, all the Chapo dipshits or whatever, like, all being ass-paying that Bernie either loses to Trump or doesn't even make it through the nomination process. But the problem is that, like, chances are, if you're watching my stream, there's a good chance that none of this actually matters to you. That you're probably fine. If you have enough time in your life right now to watch me sit here and talk about internet politics, you're probably doing okay. I think the sad thing comes when you look at, like, a lot of the people that don't have the opportunity to be here, like watching video game streams because they are working a lot, because they can't afford their medical bills, because they have no prospects in life, who not only are their lives fucked, but they know that the lives of their children are going to be fucked. I think it's incredibly sad that those people have nothing to look forward to, which kind of makes it harder to be like, haha, yeah, Bernie didn't win, another 4 years of Trump. Well, you know, like, the ACA is probably going to be completely fucked by that point. We've already defunded it. So there's going to be zero expansion of healthcare. There's going to be zero, you know, leeway made in terms of getting uninsured or underinsured people, you know, shored up. In terms of civil rights, like, it is potentially possibly, maybe theoretically possible that we see, like, Roe v. Wade gone, which is an unimaginable reversal of civil rights in the United States. I can't... That's why when people ask me, like, Bloomberg versus Trump, well, both are just as bad, blah, blah, blah. Fuck off. Both are just as bad. You fucking man motherfucker. Can you imagine losing the right to have an abortion in the United States, which Republicans have been fighting against forever? Holy shit. Like, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is, like, literally fucking in her Darth Vader suit, keeping her alive, like, showing up to fucking work every day, like, just trying to hold on for the next Democratic nominee to make it as president. Like, that, it would be incredibly bad. So, I don't actually, like, I mean, like, I would be lying if I said there's not some, like, small part in me that's like, yeah, I might get fucked, ha ha ha. But, like, it's so incredibly small compared to how insanely sad it would be to have another 4 years of Trump in the office. And we haven't even gotten into, like, how does America look on the foreign stage, where our president is literally like a tweeting buffoon that's ruined relationships with enemies and allies alike across the world. It's incredibly fucking sad. So no, there is no like, I don't get any great satisfaction out of watching Bernie, lose. Whether we're talking the nomination cycle here or even in the general election. Do you think the DNC would use superdelegates to take the nomination for Bernie? I don't think the DNC is going to do anything to destroy the party. Okay, that's not going to happen. If Bernie people like, I'm sorry, but like there are delusional fucks out here that have you thinking that Bernie could walk in to the convention with 49% of the delegates and the DNC is going to rip it away and give it to like Bloomberg or some shit. That's not going to happen. The DNC is going to do what it needs to do to preserve itself, which means not destroying the fucking party if it's very clear that a strong plurality is going to Bernie. But one thing you have to keep in mind is that if Bernie walks in with like 35%, and Biden walks in with like 32%, and there's a lot of moderates and conservative Democrats out there, I would expect the superdelegates to vote in the way that preserves the party and give it to somebody like Biden. It's really going to depend on how it comes down to on how many delegates every candidate walks into the convention with. This is why it's super ultra fucking important, okay? This is why it's super ultra fucking important. If you're like a Bernie fan and you see that Bernie's doing well and he's got it, blah, blah, blah. If you're a Bernie fan, there's two incredibly important things you can do. The most important thing you can do, well, there's three things you can do. Four things you can do. There's tons you can do. One is go out and vote. That's really fucking important if you're a Bernie fan. Even if you're in California, oh, Bernie's going here. Get him more delegates. One is to go and vote. Two is to tell all of your fucking friends, okay? Get them to go and vote. Carpool with some friends. Hey, motherfuckers, wake up. We're going to go fucking vote. Three, you can volunteer your time to canvass or whatever. That shit helps too. Phone banking and all that stuff. And then four, donating money if that's all you can do. Like every dollar helps as well. But yeah, like Bernie knows this, and Bernie said this multiple times. If he doesn't go into the convention with a majority of delegates, it's going to be scary. It's going to be really, really hard to make that argument for Bernie. He walks in with 35% of votes. A plurality is probably not enough unless it's a really, really high plurality. So yeah, if you are like a big Bernie fan, you need to be doing everything you can because just barely making it across the finish line with a plurality is not enough. It's not going to help you. Yeah. Do you think Bernie doesn't have some play to get superdelegates? He should have known that him going into the convention with strong plurality was a likely outcome. If Bernie has a really strong plurality, he'll get the superdelegates. Superdelegates aren't going to rob Bernie the election. That's just some bullshit that like extreme lefties want you to believe. It's not going to happen. They're not going to. The DNC will not self-destruct and rob Bernie of the election in that way. Now, will somebody hand off questions to somebody in a debate or some shit like that? It was a Donna Brazil or whatever. Or maybe some shit like that. But the idea of that, like at the convention, the DNC is going to rip away the nomination for Bernie with superdelegates. It's not going to happen. People like we played the same game. Remember when we played this game with the Republicans? People were like, "Oh, is the RNC? Are they going to take away Trump's nomination? Are they going to find a way to fuck him over? Are they going to find a way to blah blah blah?" And everybody's like, "Oh, what's it called? Oh, no. Unfaithful electors has to do with the actual general election, right? I think. I don't remember if you could have unfaithful electors in the RNC, but like it never happened. Like and
Sexy AF.
And the is that what happened in 2016? No, of course not. The Republicans aren't going to destroy their own party. The Republicans aren't going to destroy their own party by saying fuck Trump. And the Republicans hated Trump, dude. Oh my god. Like holy shit. So yeah. Look at the betting markets. Biden's up to a 70% chance of winning. I bet if you buy Biden right now, I bet that's going to drop later on, and you can sell Biden shares later to profit. Or maybe not. Maybe Biden... No, I don't know. Okay, so here's like... If you want to do some smug posting, here's like some smug posting you can do. How many Bernie bros were... How many Bernie bros did you guys see posting the other day? Biden wins his first primary in 32 years of doing politics. Biden wins the very first one after 32 years and 4 elections and blah, blah, blah. Like, how many Bernie bros were spamming that all over the internet a few days ago? Like, yikes. And now you can say, well, he won his second, and he won his third, and he won his fourth. Yeah. Alabama and North Carolina are called now. Apparently they uncalled North Carolina. Oh, never mind, they called him. Okay. So supposedly, so far, Biden has won Alabama, North Carolina, Virginia, and then Bernie has won Vermont. Oh, the results should be rolling in for Massachusetts, Maine, Oklahoma, and Tennessee, and Texas is going to be a big one, right? Seeing the margin that Sanders wins Texas, or if Sanders wins Texas, is going to be like a really, really important one as well, I think. Holy shit, Texas, I think, is really important right now, right? Hashtag Virginia exit polls of black voters. Now remember, so the race realists, they were right when they were actually talking about black voters that don't vote for Bernie. That's what the lefties are going to tell you, okay? Those voters, those black voters are low information voters. So the Virginia exit poll of black voters, 18% went to Sanders, 10% went to Bloomberg, 63% went to Biden. Yikes. Hashtag low information black voters, I guess. Bernie Sanders losing Texas is like style. It especially sucks because I thought Bernie was supposed to be... Is the Hispanic vote really big in Texas? Aren't like a lot of Bernie supporters supposed to be Hispanic? Didn't we hear about that like a million times? Why would anyone vote for Bloomberg? Not everybody really watches or cares about the debates. A lot of people aren't like super plugged in or super online for stuff like that. If you are a Bernie stan right now, at the very least, you can't lose. If Bernie loses the votes here, it's because Warren fucked him. If Warren drops out, it's because Bloomberg is a billionaire. If Bloomberg drops out and Bernie loses 1-on-1 to Biden, it's because the DNC is corrupt and favored him. If Bernie loses at the convention because he doesn't have a big enough plurality, because the DNC rigged it against him. If Bernie wins the DNC, if Bernie wins the nomination and loses to Trump, it's because of all the liberal voters before that didn't support Bernie or attacked him too much in the primary, and that's why it lost. There's always a reason. Like so at the very least, if you're a Bernie bro, there's like 52 different ways to save face, so you never have to worry about like actually dealing with the fact that. So anyway, my email inbox is open to all of the lefties out there that were making fun of me when I said that I had a hard time believing that Bernie was going to beat Biden. And to everybody that made fun of my bet that I made months ago, suck my dick. You're having a party now, huh? Not really, actually. To be honest, I'm not really invested in any particular candidate winning. I think it's kind of funny when everybody was so fucking vitriolic against me. Where's that mic clip of him, like, laughing at me? When 5 or 6 months ago, I was like, yeah, I have a really hard time thinking Bernie's gonna win, but you know, we'll see. Mike looks so depressed on his stream, he only streamed for 2 hours too. Oh, good, maybe he'll pack it in and fucking quit. Oh yeah, hold on. I can't really play things.
Who I want or who's gonna win? Who you think is gonna win?
No, never mind, I can't play things. Shit, hold on, it's too loud in here. Never mind.
It's not that loud.
It's too loud, Mel.
It's pretty okay.
It's not okay, Mel.
It's okay.
Bernie would have to fucking crush Cali in the next 60% reporting of a chance coming out ahead. So here's the problem right now. The problem is twofold. The problem is, one, Bernie... We don't even know if Bernie can get a plurality at this point, right? Because, oh my god. He just got annihilated on Super Tuesday. Holy shit. I think Biden massively outperformed in, like, every single state. It's not even close. Oh my god. But the big problem is that not only can Bernie maybe not even get a plurality now, a lot of people are trying to say that Warren is being a spoiler for Bernie, that if Warren would drop out, Bernie would get more votes. Well, the thing is, I don't even know if that's true. If Warren drops out, who's to say that over 50% of the votes go to Bernie, and like that some of those don't, like more than 50% don't get divvied up between Biden and Bloomberg? Because if you want to start playing Bernie math games, and you want to start combining Warren's votes and Warren's delegates with Bernie's votes and Bernie's delegates, then you have to play the same math game too with Bloomberg and Biden. And Bloomberg fucking ran away with a lot of fucking votes this time. Bloomberg didn't get any. I don't think Bloomberg won any states. He didn't have like Bloomberg is all of a sudden viable as like a candidate, like he can win. But he got a lot of delegates. He got a lot of votes tonight. Like that's pretty crazy. So the idea that you could just combine Warren and Bernie if you wanted to, sure, but Bloomberg's delegates are probably going to be pledged to Biden, right? So Bernie didn't win. Well, if you go read politics, it's crazy. If you go and look at the politics section on Reddit, There's like 3 or 4 posts like Bernie won Utah, Bernie won Vermont, like oh my god. Yeah. Biden won Massachusetts and Virginia without ever campaigning there or spending money on ads. Yeah, that's crazy. And he won in Texas too, which is Bernie had reverseless polls, but yeah, rip. As far as I know, Bernie's still projected to come out of this with a lead, a small but still a lead of like 10 delegates. Is he? I thought that Biden was going to pass him on delegates. It's possible that Bernie still has it. Because I think Bernie gets 60 or 70 more delegates than Biden because of California, which is huge. But yeah, the real funny meme. There are so many funny memes that come out of this. Firstly, if you think elections can be bought, well, now you have to challenge that narrative, because if they could be bought, Bernie would have bought it. Because Bernie had way more fucking money coming into Super Tuesday than fucking Biden did. So if anybody was going to buy this election, it should have been Bernie with the massive amount of fucking and with funding and ad spend he's been doing. But I don't know, man. Bloomberg spent $500 million for 6 delegates. Wait, what? Bloomberg got more than 6 delegates tonight, didn't he? It looks like Biden won Texas. I don't know if they'd called it yet, but he had a bit of a lead. But Bloomberg's at 44 delegates now. Yeah. So I like how people were memeing about the Samoa shit when, yikes. I said earlier, if you want a good argument for Medicare for all, it's going to be the, wait, that's a two-edged joke to make on stream, never mind. Call your fellow Bernie bro tonight, okay? They might be in trouble. Yeah, that's a private joke, not a public joke. It turns out that slandering all of your opponents as neoliberal shills and accusing them of wanting poor people to die is a really bad strategy for attracting voters to your cause. Who would have thunk it? To be fair, those are just the extremist Bernie bros on the internet. It would be really cool if it was possible to measure their impact, but I doubt that they're having like a sizable like impact on the actual broader electorate. It would be cool, well not cool, I guess it would be sad, to see if people like Hassan or Kyle Kulinski are actually damaging to the Bernie Sanders movement. If these people are actually pushing away voters from other parties, initially I would have said there's no chance because their presence isn't that big in the real electorate. But I mean, Bernie's having to account for some of their sins, like on the debate stage now, or atone for their sins in CNN articles. So it would be very funny, in a very ironic, horrible way, if like Kyle Kulinski and Hassan were actually part of the reason why Bernie is starting to lose in some of these other states. Because like when people like Pete, like, I think it's hard to say because I don't know how widespread these are, but like if you were a Pete supporter and Pete drops out and you've got to choose between Bernie and Biden, and you've got people like Hassan screaming rat fuck, rat fuck, rat
Bernie
fuck.
Brothers molding.
Like, does that make you excited to vote for Bernie Sanders? And then same thing with Warren dropping. Like, all these Bernie bros seem to think that if Warren drops, I haven't looked at the runner-up, like the second choice for a lot of Warren voters, but people keep thinking that Warren voters, she's a progressive. They'll all run over to Warren. Voters don't vote like that. Hassan himself said so. Warren's coalition of voters was actually quite different from both Sanders and Biden before, and that she mainly had wealthier, college elite, college-educated, upper-class people, white people as well. Like, these people are people that overwhelmingly went for Warren. So the idea that, like, Warren would just drop, and then all of her voters would just go right over to Bernie, that might not even be the case. We don't even know if 50% would. I would have to check, I don't know. I would have to check the second choice. It's possible that that's changed over time, and maybe the majority of Warren voters would go to Bernie, but anecdotally, it totally impacted my encouragement voting for Bernie, but yeah, I don't think it would ever have a larger effect. I think that, we make fun of Bernie bros a lot on stream, but, Bernie is definitely unique as far as candidates go. I don't think you should let people like Hassan or Kyle Kulinski scare you off of voting for Bernie. Bernie probably has the most toxic fan base online right now, maybe second only to Trump's. But like that doesn't go for Bernie himself. Like Bernie himself doesn't engage in any of the rat fuckery that a lot of the crazy Bernie bros do. So if you like Bernie for the fact that he has like a record that's unchanged for like 50 years, or the fact that he demonstrated in his teens and 20s and everything and all of that, and you like what he stands for, you shouldn't let the online masses dissuade you from voting for Bernie if you like him. I love that you're humble in your wins. I'm not like polling for Biden. It's not like Biden is not my candidate. I'm not like personally invested in who wins. Like it's not
1 month. Still love you, buddy.
It's like I'm not really excited for Biden or Bernie. Like I don't think it's 100% over for Bernie. Like Bernie could probably still do it. So like if Bernie manages to win, like that's cool. I'm not like, I did vote against Bernie because I didn't think he had a chance of doing it like a few months ago. But that doesn't mean I hate Bernie. I'm not like invested against him winning. So
Yeah, there's a lot of dog-faced pony soldiers out there. Did you say the thing about not voting on Reddit? Yeah, I don't know if I'll vote in the primary. I just don't really feel strongly about any of the candidates right now, to be honest. Like, if it was Biden, between like Biden, Warren, or Bernie, I don't know. I kind of probably would lean towards Warren, I guess. I don't know if she'll still be in there when Nebraska comes around, but I'll vote for whoever makes like the general. Like, I would vote for any Democrat who's in right now over Trump. So, do you think Biden has a chance against Trump? I don't know who would do better. I don't know if Biden or Bernie would. I really don't know. I could see any of those debates going either way. It's hard to say. If he didn't fall out, then do you think Biden would have won, or do you think it was directly because of the endorsement? I don't know how much. I'm sure every little thing probably helps cumulatively. I'm sure that like the whole media blitzstorm of Amy dropping out supporting Trump, Beto supporting Trump, Pete supporting Trump. I'm sure that like all of that together probably like helped. It's hard to say if any little in particular thing like did something. Review these Siena College / New York Times 12 swing states if you want to see who would win. Okay. Bernie voters aren't voting for anyone else, taking our ball and going home. Enjoy your accelerationism with Trump, though. I mean, okay. You're not hurting anybody else online. You're just hurting the working class that you claim to represent, but okay. Can you believe that Biden increased voter turnout? That's the most shocking news from tonight. Is that actually true? That's actually crazy if that's true. Why would Biden increase turnout? That's pretty... in black states? Damn. Hurting the working class. If the working class is dumb enough to vote for Biden, then they deserve to be hurt. Fuck low IQ. Nice. That's a true Bernie or Buster right there. That's the thing that scares me about Biden. All of the socially conservative policies that he supported in the past is a huge thorn in his side. I think he's come around to most things. Like, his position on gay marriage was, like, kind of dumb, but it was, like, it wasn't the worst. Right? Like, if you actually go and listen to... I know people like to say, like, Biden opposed gay marriage, but Biden's stance in the past on gay marriage was that he thought that gay marriage shouldn't be legalized, but that the protections afforded to civil unions and those protections afforded to marriage should be identical to one another. So, I mean, like, it's not the best position to take, definitely not in 2020, but, like, back then it's as much as you can ask for, I guess, for some politicians. Like, Obama was the same, Hillary was the same. After 4 years of Trump, I can't believe how much Bernie or bust rhetoric I'm hearing, even among my personal friends. Well, again, most of the Bernie or bust rhetoric, you have to understand, like, why some people do politics, right? I've never, like, looked at it through this, like, paradigm before, but it helps me understand a lot of it now. Like, for some people, politics is about politics, which is, like, exercise of power, right? Politics is about gaining power in certain areas. You exert influence to get policies enacted or judges or whatever, right? And then for a lot of people, politics is like a hobby, you know? So, like, I would say that for me, I probably engage more, like, in political hobbyism than like, actual, like, political power, right? Like, for me, it's entertaining to follow it. I like to talk about it. It's a very enjoyable thing. For a lot of people, they engage in political hobbyism, but they pretend that they're doing it for, like, political, like, power. But they're not really. Like, a lot of people that talk about, like, Bernie or bust, for them it's like a sports team. Like, they don't actually care about the outcome of the elections because most of these people are insulated enough with their wealth or class or whatever that, ironically enough, that they don't actually have to care about who's president for another 4 years, you know? So you have a lot of people that are for Bernie because he's their sports. I guess it's like there's probably a lot of people that stop caring about the Super Bowl when, like, their team loses. Is that a thing? That's probably a thing. Or, like, the College World Series or something. Like, you stop caring when your team loses. Or, like, any of the big conferences, any of the playoffs for college football, like, yeah, you, like, stop caring. Wouldn't you endorse Bernie for his foreign policies that would save lives? I don't think I'm in favor of, like, the ultra-isolationist, like, foreign policy that America's evil in every country that it's in. I don't know if I agree with that anymore. I think 4 years ago I would have agreed with it, but I think I'm a little older now. A little bit more kind of in tune with how foreign policy works. And the idea that, like, American interventionism bad, American foreign policy, everything we do bad, world police bad, like, it's a very naive way of looking at, like, like foreign policy. That's how I looked at it in 2016, but I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that, unfortunately. Literally every leftist won't actually take it seriously, so leftism dies while leftist grifters suck insta-ho rectum. Nice. I mean, most leftists don't even know enough to be leftists. And most leftists are about as stupid as the general electorate. Like, it's not like you guys are some insanely bright bunch. Like, you guys Trump hides behind racism. You guys hide behind read more theory or whatever, even though half you fuckers have never read a single leftist theory book in your entire life.
My name is Tia.
Oh, nice. So, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't have a lot of love for leftist shit. Maybe once Bernie dies, the campaign. Hopefully that shit recedes a bit. Like, after this election, Bernie can't run again, right? Probably. I didn't even know he'd run this election, but yeah, I don't know. I don't have any strong predictions. I feel like it's leaning towards Trump pretty heavily right now, but okay. All right. I love you guys. It's been fun. I think I'm trying to hit both my D&Ds while I'm on vacation, but we'll see. We should be able to, hopefully. Are you planning on having more discussions with Trump supporters moving towards a general? Yeah, for sure. I'd love to. I'm so much more interested in that. The nicest thing about if the Bernie campaign dies is we can stop talking about fucking socialism. Oh my god, it's so boring. Most of the people that are proponents of socialism and communism and all these socialist democratic ideas or whatever, they don't know anything about finance. They don't know anything about economics. They don't know anything about policy. They don't know anything about electoral politics. They don't know anything about foreign policy. They don't know anything about history, local or international. Like, it's actually excruciating to try to talk to them about anything. So, like, these guys fucking off and then having real conversations about the differences in policies between the left and right going forward is going to be so much better. Oh my god, I can't wait to get back to that. Because as soon as someone starts talking about socialism or material conditions, I just want to fucking fall asleep.
Fuck you, Destiny, Pepe mods.
Yeah, oh god.
What we really learned is that private jokes are back on the menu, boys. And since I have less than 1,000 viewers, and now it counts as a private joke. Dude, watching